Hello and welcome. Today is Monday, August 30th, and you're watching Regent Park Weekly News, where we bring you all the latest news and events. My name is Humaira Rahman, and here's my co-host,
Fred Alvarado. We would like to begin our news show with the story about Ryerson University announcing name change and approving task force recommendations. The Toronto Schools Board of Governors approved a motion to accept all 22 recommendations from a special task force, including one to rename the institution. The task force was formed in November 2020 to examine and address the legacy of Egerton Ryerson, who helped design both the public and residential school systems in Canada. According to the report, the name Ryerson does not reflect the values that define the university. Therefore, the task force is recommending that the university rename the school through a process that engages with community members and stakeholders. The task force recognizes that a name change alone will not erase the systemic barriers and inequities that Indigenous and Black community members face within the institution. As a result, it suggests increasing access to information, promoting Indigenous and Black scholarship, and using public space for community building. Ryerson has faced growing calls to change the name of the institution, which has been formally called for as far back as 2017. This year, hundreds of children's remains were discovered at the sites of former residential schools across Canada, sparking nationwide protests for Indigenous rights. Before the Egerton Ryerson statue was brought down, it was vandalized at least twice in the past year during demonstrations against monuments that represent slavery and colonialism.
Now moving on with our first COVID update, the Toronto District School Board made the announcement on Thursday morning saying that its trustees voted in favor of a mandatory policy. The school board is now working on a plan that requires all workers, trustees, and visitors to be fully vaccinated. They will be required to disclose and provide proof of their vaccination status. It is yet to be determined on what will happen to those who refuse to disclose their vaccination status. More updates are yet to come.
Toronto Public Health expands programs to support a safe return to school. In-person learning is essential for mental health and physical well-being of children and their families. And Toronto Public Health is supporting all Toronto school boards and the Government of Ontario in this transition with the recommended public health measures. TPH guidance supports these requirements and supports boards in creating as safe as an environment as possible. In addition to masking, hand washing, cleaning protocols, and COVID-19 screening for staff, students, and visitors, Toronto Public Health has recommended additional measures to further reduce the spread of COVID-19. These additional measures include recommending junior and senior kindergarten students wear masks indoors, and masking and practicing physical distance in music classes where the virus could spread more easily.
And for those of you who have received your single shot of Johnson & Johnson, you may want to listen to this. Johnson & Johnson has come out with a booster vaccine that increases antibodies. The data shows that an additional shot might serve as a booster vaccine if the vaccine's effectiveness begins to wane. And for those of you who have yet to receive your vaccine, 40 Oak is holding a drop-in vaccine clinic open to anyone. No immigration status, fixed address, or identification is needed.
Ontario unveils back-to-school plan for September, and here's what you need to know. All students will be able to return to the classroom full-time this September under the Ontario government's highly anticipated back-to-school plan. Remote learning will remain an option for parents and students who don't feel comfortable returning to the classroom. In the plan, the government said school boards must be prepared for potential closures and have plans in place so all students can pivot to remote learning if the COVID-19 situation worsens. All staff in schools must wear masks with reasonable exceptions for medical conditions. Staff working in close contact with children who are not wearing masks must use eye protection.
This past Saturday, we had the 519's 5th annual Back to School Bash. This event is thrown every year right before the opening of school. Friends and family come through and were able to enjoy music, games, and prizes, while youth were able to collect free books, haircuts, and grab a backpack filled with all sorts of school supplies so they can start school looking fresh. As for events that are yet to come in the following week, we have the Healing as One basketball charity event. This event is set to take place on Saturday, September 4th at the Regent Park's athletic ground. Find 3 of your best friends and register for this event through their Instagram, which is at Healing as One. There is an entrance fee of $40, but all proceeds are set to support relief and humanitarian efforts on the current tragedies taking place in Afghanistan. And another exciting event that is set to take place in the following week is the reopening of the Daniel Spectrum. This building is set to reopen on September 7th and has been closed for the past year or so due to the pandemic.
The 2021 Canadian federal election will take place on September 20th. Canadian citizens have the right to choose who represents them in federal politics. If you are a Canadian citizen who is 18 or older, you can vote to elect your local member of parliament. And it is your vote that helps choose the Prime Minister. There are 5 major political parties in Canada: the Liberal Party of Canada, the Conservative Party of Canada, the New Democratic Party, the Bloc Québécois, and the Green Party. Ontario is currently divided into 124 electoral districts, including the Toronto Centre, encompassing a good portion of Toronto's downtown. Toronto Centre has had a strong Liberal hold in recent years. The seat was recently won by former TV host Marcy Ian in a 2020 by-election. The candidates for the Toronto Centre riding are Marcy Ian for the Liberal Party, Ryan Lester for the Conservative Party, Anami Paul for the Green Party, Brian Chan for the New Democratic Party, Eric Rothberg for the People's Party of Canada. And that's all for today's show. Once again, I'm Fred Alvarado.
And I'm Humaira Rahman.
Delivering local news from our headquarters at Focus Media Arts Center at Regent Park. Thanks for watching and have a great day.
Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And when you do subscribe, hit the little notification bell so you never miss out on any of our content. If you'd also like more, you can find us on our other social media platforms. And if you want even more, you can look at our website.